Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Headlines in the second hour brought to you by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or DoralVolkswagen.com. What are you laughing at, Leroy?
Just reading the chat.
Oh, man.
It's like I don't know.
Big Richard Buck says Tua was laughing on the sidelines in the fourth. I did not like that either. I did not care for that. And also, I don't think Aaron Brewer cared for it either. He was here was Tua on the sidelines. You see him laughing it up. What's so funny? I'm not having fun. Why is he happy? Be happy later. T&P, dude. No, what? And Aaron Brewer's like, why is he laughing? What's funny right now? This is a guy who doesn't realize he's going to be out of timeouts. He's about to call another timeout. He's laughing. We're not having fun, Tua. Brittany's not having fun. Leroy's not having fun.
No, I am not.
And you're laughing. What is he laughing about?
Mm-hmm.
And why is Aaron Brewer like, he's even confused. He's like, no. Why, my friend, are you laughing at us?
-1 for show poniness.
Dude. He's just and that's a hearty laugh too. That's not a smile, not a chuckle.
No, that's a belly laugh.
That's
right
a
there.
belly laugh. That is, he's just, bro, are we having fun? Bro's like, nah, dude, I'm not having fun right now. We stink. We just got eliminated. He goes, you know what didn't get eliminated? $53 million. That doesn't get eliminated. That's not eliminated. Laughing, dude. Jay, what's up, man? Hello, Jay.
Yo,
Yeah. What's up, man?
this is Rick. What's going on?
What's up, Rick? How are you, buddy?
Hey, Tobin, I got a yes and no question for you.
Sure.
No, not Tobin. Leroy.
Sure.
Yes. No. Would you say this is a dysfunctional organization? Yes or no? Time's running out.
No.
No, you're not saying the past 30 years. I mean, I've been passionate.
Okay, like again, I'm looking at the last 5 years because when you change the pieces, like you so what you're saying to me is, let me get this straight. If you change the owner, things will get better.
Okay. Hey, so real quick, just popped in my head. We were on a 7-year rebuild, correct, with Greer? How many year rebuild was the Patriots with Vrabel, the guy I wanted? Vrabel?
I don't think here's the problem. The problem is they weren't on a rebuild, which makes it worse. Because that means the decisions that you were making with the people you were bringing in were terrible decisions. So I don't look at it as being a dysfunctional organization. I just look at it as whoever was in charge was making some bad decisions on how to build the team.
Okay.
You're breaking up, Rick. We got to let you go. If they do this though, or like if we're gonna go through this whole thing, like what makes it dysfunctional, and this has kind of been Stephen Ross's one flaw, is like he's just half in, half out with the whole cleaning, and like he always kind of does this weird shuffling of the organization, and then he's like, "Well, the next guy's got more input because I don't want to fire everybody," and it's just like it's never been clean it up. And
can I just tell you what the most terrifying thing of all this is?
Sure.
If you go that route, which, like, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. If you go that route with what you have seen in the NFL, chances are you're going to have to do it a couple of times. Right? Because here's who's getting hired. You're hiring assistant GMs from other organizations.
Yep.
And you're hiring young new coaches. Like, there's not a situation where you can bring in a guy who's been in your organization. Like,
no, you
Vrabel.
can't. But it's not also not been done. And I will say, like, look, Stephen Ross's plan may have been to go get Sean Payton, who's got the Broncos humming right now. Like, he's gotten bit on a couple of his plans as well because, well, whoever he's got around doing the secretive stuff, they're not very secretive. And so that's blown up in his face a couple of times throughout his ownership.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, look, if you wanted to do a decision like that, they haven't done a complete rebuild because they had their quarterback in place.
Right.
But if you look at Jacksonville, they hired a child as their GM and they got Duval as the coach. They're kind of rolling right now. Now, I don't know if it'll last because it always is sweet that first year.
Well,
we'll see.
Right. We said the same thing about McDaniel. So,
right. So I don't know if that's going to work out. But look, Vrabel's definitely got a track record. I don't know when the Dolphins window was to hire Mike Vrabel though. Like,
no, I'm not even saying they should. I'm not saying they should have hired him. He would have went back to New England once he got fired. He also got fired too. So in Tennessee, they were probably saying he sucks. Yeah, so let's also think of that.
They might be regretting that one. That's one.
Right. Of course. But so I'm not like I want people to understand that the solution to everything and to all your problems can't be let's go fire somebody and get new stuff.
Yeah,
right?
But you can I understand that, but we can also say that I don't necessarily know if Mike McDaniel deserves to keep his job.
Right. I understand that too, but that is a decision that if it comes from the top, you do have they don't have a GM yet.
Well, they
have an interim.
Yeah,
and that guy's been in the organization for 6 months.
Yes.
So if he were to get the job, that is somebody new.
Joe Rose was saying this morning, because I guess he talked to Champ Kelly at some point, and he's like, and I wanted to, like, if I was next to Champ Kelly at this point, I don't know how this would have went for me, but apparently Joe says that he told him, we just got to win these cold weather games at some point, Joe. And I just wanted to, like, if I was next to Champ Kelly right there, if I was having an espresso next to him, I would have, hey, Champ, come here. He goes, yeah, what's up? I'm Brendan Tobin. Nice to meet you. Let me just pinch your cheeks. You're adorable. We've been saying that forever, dude.
Listen, I understand the grief that the fans are having, right? But why would a guy who's been here 6 months care?
He wouldn't, but that's the thing, is when you say something that seems flippant, that has literally been a Dolphins thing forever.
Right, but he doesn't, he may not even know that.
I know. Well, now that's why somebody needs to take him aside and be like, hey,
here, everybody says hire a coach with experience, enough of the assistants. Okay. Who?
So who's that? McCarthy?
Right.
Like, that's out there? I don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's not make it sound like there's an abundance of people. If you hire a new guy, you're taking a big chance. If you hire a guy who's already been a coach and have had success, now you're asking him to come in, put his system in, do all the things he needs to do to win games. And guess what? How long is that process going to take? And you got to hope that he's on the same page with the new GM. Look, I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying, being down here in South Florida, nobody seems to have the patience for that. Even though you say you just want change, right? If a year goes by and they're no good, you want to fire them too.
Yeah, but his teams have got, like, the thing with Mike McDaniel that does get lost, and this is why I don't really think he deserves to come back, is, first of all, the organization had a lot of accountability and professionalism issues with him as the head coach. And that's been self-sanctioned. He put out there. Mm-hmm. So you had players who are saying that they put a lot of investment into, and Jalen Ramsey was like, I don't want to play for this guy anymore. I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, like, look, not many coaches get to come in with a roster souped up like he did, which was, we're going to trade for Tyreek Hill. We're going to give you a big-time left tackle. You're going to have all this talent. Most coaches come in and it stinks the first couple of years. Right. And his team had Tua get hurt the first year. Okay. stayed pretty much healthy the next year, and that was their best season. But the last 2 years have gotten worse, and I don't necessarily think this is a guy with a lot of answers, because as you and me both watch these games, we're very confused by what he does every single week.
Yes.
He seems like, look, this is his quality. Seems like a likable dude, has some creativity. His players seem to like him. Do they necessarily respect him and play and have all their I's dotted and T's crossed?
It's a big thing to see the effort that they've been putting in after this season. So there's something to be said about that.
But I feel like, but I feel like most of that's on the defensive side, Leroy. And I feel like those guys would play for anybody. Like I don't feel like Jordan Brooks. I don't feel like Jordan Brooks wouldn't do that for anybody. I think he's a professional.
Jordan Brooks is what's like.
I think Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I think Minka Fitzpatrick is a professional. I think Zach Seal is a professional. I don't think that it's not that they're not.
It could be the case. It could. I give you a perfect example. Brian Billick with the Ravens defense with Ray Lewis and those guys. So it's quite possible, right? We've seen that situation. Again, I've and when people say I'm being apologetic, I'm really not, because I have had the same issue with Mike McDaniel from the beginning of the season. You just haven't been listening.
You've had the same issue with him for years.
For years. And this was even when they were winning.
Yeah.
So stop with that. The problem that I sometimes have with talking about this team is I don't know what a solution would be to make things better quick. And as fans go, no fan ever has the patience like you say you do to go through that process.
This is where I think people get this is what I would disagree with you, though. I don't like you saying that they don't have the patience, Leroy, because this fan base has been very patient. They have. Like they've been through a lot of versions of the same crap and a lot of repetitive behaviors.
And they have wait. So but that doesn't mean they've been patient with it. They've been mad as hell through the whole thing.
I
understand that, but me saying me saying that they're not patient, you're just accepting what has happened. I'm not saying you haven't been mad as hell during the process. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Not really, dude. I got to be honest with you. No, like I think if you're saying,
what do you consider? Wait, the fact that your team hasn't won, okay, and you're now 25 years later, that doesn't mean you've been patient.
How not?
Because that's the reality of the situation.
There's been one, dude, in the entire span of that, there's been one and done coach. It's been Cam Cameron for a 1-win season. Everybody else has gotten rope. Nobody else on this organization has gotten the unfair shake other than Brian Flores. That's the only guy. And we were all like, what?
I'm not.
Everybody else has gotten their fair run.
Let me try to explain this in a different way. Okay. If they bring in a new GM and a new coach and they change the way they do everything, and it takes 2 or 3 years, for 2 or 3 years, we're going to hear same old Dolphins. Nobody's going to say, I like where it's going. It's going to be a couple of years.
But I don't.
The thing is all I have to go on is what I've witnessed the last however many years I've been here. Okay, I've never had this fan base has been mad that they haven't had more success. And I would say this, are you going to be patient to sit back and say for long-term success, we need to.
Okay. I got to just stop you there, though. Leroy, they had the longest tenured GM, one of them in the league. So he got run. Joe Philbin, Adam Gase. Adam Gase only got fired because he didn't want to take a step back and tank.
Right.
Joe Philbin was terrible at his job.
Right.
And deserved to get fired. Like, there's not been a guy who the Dolphin fan really has regretted going away from. Tony Sparano, the owner didn't have the patience in him. He tried to go hire Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
And so I don't understand this whole thing of like, well, what's the other solution? Because your counter argument to that is, well, you don't want to hear bitching from the fans. And it's like, Well,
No,
so
I didn't.
my
That's
option. Well, that's what it sounds like because it's like
no. See,
option
that's
here-
you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not. Listen, you have every right to bitch and moan, but understand when you demand new things and new GM and a new coach, that when they come in with a new process and a new whatever, it could take a couple of years. Are you willing to go through that? Because what I've seen every time a new coach has come in is that no, you want success right away.
okay, but I think you're relating to old years. The only guy I could say that you're doing this with would be like Wannstedt, where they were winning seasons, 10-win seasons, but they weren't good enough to win in the playoffs. Had Jason Taylor, had Zach Thomas, and you're saying, hey, that's a respectable team. You've been a respectable franchise, and they really haven't even reached that level since.
No.
And
you've had a couple of years, like, and it's weird because it's always when a coach comes in, it's always his first year or two, and then it goes the other way.
Right.
So it hasn't been sustained over.
I think for right now, like, yeah, like what's the other option? This isn't going to get it done. Like they're getting lapped by two teams in their division. The Jets have already nuked their stuff. And look, I'm not saying they've been their own horse's ass of a franchise.
Right.
But yeah, I agree that I don't have the answer right now as to who that is because I don't know, but I got to be honest with you. And I thought this kind of last year after the press conference with McDaniel and Chris Greer. Even before that, Stephen Ross said status quo is not good enough. This is the definition of status quo this season. It's
correct.
The same as last year.
Right.
So how does this guy deserve to keep his gig? Why? Because you don't think it's like, he doesn't have anything he's bringing to the table. He doesn't look like he's got a vision on any of this stuff. It's fine. He gave it the old college try. He kind of got the job defined by the quarterback. It doesn't work out. It burnt out. It's over, dude. And
I'm not even disputing that. See, I think you're looking at this saying that I'm not disagreeing with anybody's sentiment.
The only thing I disagree with you with is saying the fans haven't been patient. I feel like they have been.
The situation, hold on. The circumstances have been unfortunate, and you've waited 25 years for a win. But after every year, right, with the demands or the same old this or the same old that, that's not patient. You want wins now. And the only reason why I say that, you have every right to want to win now. But if you make a change and do it the right way, it might take a little bit of time. And what happens is, here's what I hear. This Dolphins team has been 26 years now. You know what? I'm not renewing my tickets, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that. That's not patient. I understand the frustration with Dolphins fans. Believe me. But also understand, do you think that they're going to be able to fix it? And how soon do you think it should be fixed? Because if they go and change everything, the first thing that's going to happen, the first thing is either you're going to eat a boatload of money and get rid of a lot of players, and you're not going to have any money to bring any players in. You've lost a lot of draft picks, and you're getting some of those back in the next couple of years with your own picks. And like, it's not a situation like, keep in mind, New England or a couple of other organizations that when Houston turned it around, they had 2 top 5 picks. New England had a boatload of picks. That's not the situation here. You're not going to have an abundance of picks from trading players.
Yeah, but like, so what are but you know the situation's like the fix isn't right now, like with this situation.
Right. That's why I asked her. You're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have a choice. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not even in the Wannstedt era of winning games.
Right.
You're not even a playoff team.
Right.
So I don't understand why there's this either or of like decent or terrible. Like, they're not good. So take some terrible. They've been, and by the way, they've already gone through that too. We got to take a break. We're way up against it. We're back after this.